Hello and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Meidase SL122 Pro. We're going to be taking a look at some of its features, how it handles cold weather, some of its weather resistance, motion detection, image quality, sound resolution. We're going to be taking a look at all of that, so stay tuned. Let's get right into the video. So I'm just going to start out the video by saying this is mostly a camera that people would want to use as a scout. They'd put it somewhere in their forest just to see which type of animals they have. This is not a camera that you would use to try to get large prints out of. It's really something that you just use as a tool to identify different types of animals. So just keep that in mind. Let's take a look at this camera's motion detection. So first of all, as you can see, there are three sensors. The center one 60 degrees and both of the side ones are 30 degrees. One important thing to note is that the side sensors don't actually start recording. All they do is they notify the camera to a pre-activation where it turns on, and it actually starts recording when the center sensor is activated. So just keep that in mind. Practically speaking, it does work very well. I do find sometimes maybe 5 to 10% of the time you do see a subject that is maybe 10 meters away and it's already in the middle of the frame, even though there were multiple seconds where it should have been walking in. But yeah, other than that, it always works perfectly. The motion detection time is 0.2 seconds, so it is very fast, and it goes till 25 meters. So I have found approximately 3 to 4 meters away, it even can detect mice on the ground. So I'd say it works very well. Here are some examples of me walking into the frame when it starts recording. As you can see, it's usually right on spot. So a big thumbs up for motion detection. Let's move on to image quality. So taking a look at the image quality, the resolution for video is 1080p and 720p. You have those two options. And for pictures, it can take 16, 12, 8, 4, and 2 megapixel pictures. Now, as you can see from these pictures, everything, including the 16 megapixel file, is that they're most likely all just upscaled from something that is perhaps even lower than 2 megapixels. So I'd probably just set it on 2 megapixels and save some space, because the 16 megapixel option really isn't worth it. Taking a look at the video, it's pretty much the exact same story. Although you do notice a very slight difference from 1080p and 720p. There is a lot of over sharpening. But again, this is not a camera that you would expect very good image quality from. It's just something to identify animals. Here are some examples. You can see the animals in fairly good detail. Again, it's not designed to get great image quality. If you're going to want something with better image quality, I'd recommend taking a look at some camera housing for outdoors. You could put your DSLR in a box essentially that is weather sealed. It'll have motion detection as well, and that is where you can get some professional looking pictures. Again, this is not something that you would expect to have very good image quality. For the price and for the product that it is, I'd actually say it's all right, although it could be improved. So let's move on to night vision. So as you can see, there are 36 940 nanometer infrared LEDs. They do work pretty well. Of course, it's going to be black and white, as you can see in some of the examples here. It ranges up to 20 meters. And I find, especially if you're in a forest anyways, you don't really need much more than that, seeing as usually it covers far enough ground. It is strong enough. The low light is obviously not good on the sensor, so it's nice to have those LEDs brightening the whole frame up. And as you can see in the examples here, it does work fairly well, so big thumbs up for night vision. So I'm going to touch on sound a little bit. Obviously, it isn't going to be as much as a priority as, for example, motion detection, but reading off of their website that it has a microphone with high sensitivity to deliver clearer sound. Clearer than what? I don't know. But apparently it's supposed to have some clear sound, so I thought I'd test it a bit. As you can see, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3, microphone test. Yeah, that isn't very clear. But in any case, sound is definitely not a big priority. Again, if you're just using it as a scout, I wouldn't worry too much. It is good enough to identify an animal. So for example, if an animal is doing some kind of a call, you are going to be able to recognize that. And at the end of the day, in a product like this, it's the only thing you need, although again, it could always be improved. So now to the final point, and that is weather resistance. Now, it does have a weather resistance of IP66, making it resistant to strong jets of water. You won't be able to submerge in water completely, although I don't know who would want to submerge a trail cam completely underwater. But in any case, it does handle rain, snow, frost, everything very well. As you can see in this little test I did, it handles water very well. So I definitely wouldn't be scared of this camera getting wet. The interior is going to be completely dry, again, as long as you don't submerge it in water. So its operation temperature is actually negative 20 degrees to plus 60 degrees. I have used it quite a bit colder than that. Last week it was definitely colder than negative 40 degrees Celsius, and this camera held up just fine. So I'd say it can actually do a lot colder than that without any problems. With regard to battery, it takes 8 AA 1.5 volt batteries, and I do find that is quite a lot of batteries, but it is efficient enough, especially if you're using it in the summer and it's not negative 40 degrees. It actually is fairly efficient. So at the end of the day, this is actually a very nice trail cam. If you just want to scout your property, know what's there when you're not there, kind of identify different animals, it's very good for that. Obviously, the resolution is not going to be very good, but again, that is expected with these types of cameras. So I'm also going to have a link to the camera in the description in case that's something you'd be interested in. As always, if you liked the video, you can always consider subscribing. Until the next film reveals, bye for now.